What up, everybody? This is your boy Magus, and I know I said in one of these videos. By the way, I don't know if this is going to be released before or after one of the other videos, but I had said in that video there's no need for me to explain where I've been, and all that again. Regurgitate that, but I've done it so many times with my content. In fact, looking at my channel, let me see. When was the last time that I posted a video on YouTube? Prior to any of the videos you might have seen in the last week or two, or day or two. Depending on when this one comes out. August 7th. It was a movie about the Fantastic Four. We did a forecast of me and my boy Pontiac. That's the last thing I did. Since then, what have I been doing? Where I've been doing? Same reason why I've been always having these pauses. It's just life coming in and me attending to things as far as life is concerned. Like, my life is, for those who've stuck around all this time, life has been very, very up and down. And I kind of hit a high the last time I came back, because things started being okay. But now I'm hitting another rough patch, and it's crazy how these rough patches, how heavy they weigh on me, because it's never anything just simple. It's always like, complications, especially financially, and the personal ones are just devastating too. And it's just like I just get in a mind where I'm just so focused on trying to figure out what's going on, and it just arrests me. Like, the anxiety, the depression, the fear, it just arrests me. But that's neither here or there. I always come back in some capacity, whether it's for a brief period, maybe a longer period, and then short bursts, something sustainable, or at least that appears to be sustainable. Then I disappear. The reason I keep coming back is because I honestly love doing this shit. And it's something that I would love to pursue and do on a regular basis again. Not necessarily for a career. If it became a career thing, as I've said before, that would be great. That would be a great blessing, because for all the content creators that you have out there, if you think about it in the scope of the world, not that many are that blessed to be able to do this for a living and enjoy themselves, doing it throughout the whole time. In fact, sometimes things just like super fall apart, or things happen, algorithms change, trends change, people aren't able to sustain it, and they disappear completely. But there's only a few people that continue to have done this year after year and have maintained like a following for a really long time. But even if I got that short period of time of success, like huge success, I'd be happy to. So there have been people who've done it, had like maybe a 10-year run, 5 to 10 year run, and accumulated enough movie that has been life-changing, where they can develop to other things and move on to other things and live happily ever after. That would be nice too. But I mainly do this because I love the interactions with people. I love having discussions. I love trying to put something out that I feel like is thoughtful for people to engage in real conversation about on a number of topics, but in particular with gaming, especially because I remember when I started this in 2012, my whole thing was I would like to see people have meaningful discussions about the medium that I love, because a lot of times, let's be honest, a lot of people do things like kind of baity things. The traditional, is gaming dead, games are dead, or this franchise has died, this game sucks, like, why you shouldn't play this, or just quick samples, quick hit topics where they find a niche where they know, like, there's a particular group out there that's complaining about this, or there's a particular group out there that loves specifically this. I'm going to focus on making content, browbeating or celebrating that thing and riding the wave to success. And I just didn't want to do that type of stuff. I just wanted to talk about stuff that interests me, but that also challenge me in a way. Like when I debate different subjects in games, I like it when I get responses that are different from mine, because I would like to have another opinion, and I like seeing people really put some thought and effort into the conversations. Because, like, for all of us who are into gaming, we all love games. We don't all agree, but it doesn't mean that we have to, like, be rigid in our disagreement and be closed-minded to other ideas. We can have a real conversation and debate about it, and that's always been my whole thing, even when I ventured outside of gaming. Like, sure, I have my, things that I don't budge on, but I feel like I don't put out a lot of those type of videos, because I at least like to ask the question, am I bugging, or what is your thoughts on this, and get an honest opinion on things, because that's what makes things better. It's like having real honest conversations and engaging in real thoughtful discussions that can come up with solutions, rather than just constantly like, oh, this sucks and this is better, and not really getting into the ins and outs of the why in a real objective manner, I should say. Some people can come up with whys, but it's usually the same stuff, or things that they've heard before, and they're just regurgitating it. It's just never been me. So and I've always liked creating things as a kid. Like, I'm the kid who would take shoeboxes and turn them into, like, cars or bases for my G.I. Joe people when my mom couldn't afford to get me those vehicles and stuff like that. Like, yeah, I can get a couple of G.I. Joe men with my allowance for $10. They were like $2 a piece. I can get, a handful. But, I wasn't getting those vehicles, the base sets and all that stuff, so I had to come up with it and come up with great stuff. Writing, I used to write a lot, make little comic books as a kid, and as an adult, I grew to do poetry and stuff like that. I've always been into doing something creative, even if I wasn't that good at it, because I just like to come up with things and think about things, and that's why content creating has always been a natural thing for me. That's why I always come back to it, because I just like doing it, and like sharing this stuff with people, and I like when I get the response that is just as equally thoughtful and passionate. One of my best friends right now is my friend because he was that guy who challenged my thoughts. Shout out to Cardiac. I've mentioned this before. And other people that I still engaged with when I show up on Twitch streams, because I've been doing a lot of Twitch streams lately. Low key, a lot of people don't know this, but I've been on Twitch regularly. Not this week, but up until we went back to work, I've been doing a ton of streams. And now that I'm readjusting back to work, I've kind of slacked off, but I got to get back to that starting this weekend as I'm recording. But yeah, so just know that you're going to get these videos over and over again if I disappear, because again, I love engaging it, and I appreciate everybody who comes and watch and comments, even if you don't say anything, no comments. Just the fact that you watch, even if it's like 10 people, I'm very, very grateful for it, and I appreciate it. It's just one of my loves. Like, one of these days my life will balance out to the point where I can feel stable enough to continually do this, maybe. on a regular basis. And who knows, maybe I'll reach that goal. Or not necessarily a goal, but be lucky enough to become somebody who can do this for a living. You never know, but yeah. You'll continually see me pop up. So just know that. I'm not expecting anybody to hang around. But for those who do, again, you're much appreciated. Know that I'll always be around. Alright? Anyway, as always, you guys, feel free to hit me up. Let me know what you're thinking. I'll talk to you later. This is your boy Blak Magus, and I'm out. Deuces.